Hey guys, welcome to the latest episode of Galaxy's Greatest. I'm joined by Ollie. How's it going, dude?
Very good. I'm very excited. Been waiting for this day for ages.
Yeah, so I won't go too much into, it should have been out in June or July, but we've certainly got it now, which is it's very very exciting. There's lots and lots of changes. So the way we thought we'd construct this is we've got some like winners and losers and sort of things that we're surprised about from this update, and then what we're going to do later on is once we've actually tested the new stuff, I'll probably go into the new characters I've got in my affiliation and reasons why. Same with Ollie, and then we're going to get quite a few people from the Discord to talk about their affiliations and what they enjoy about the new changes, what they don't enjoy. So yeah, it'll be very exciting. But yeah, what overall are you happy or sad about the update?
I'm happy for the game as a whole. I think a lot of the things that were at the top of the curve have been pulled down, and 99% of the things that were at the bottom of the curve have been pulled up. I think there's one or two characters that are still at the bottom, but you're never going to. There's always going to be a bottom, and there's always going to be a top. So
Yeah.
I think that the updates have definitely been an improvement for the game.
No, I definitely agree. There's definitely some characters in that list that never saw the table, which are going to be on the table most games, which is which is very exciting, which we'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, I thought it's really good. The amount of changes they've made are absolutely massive. I can't remember how, like the actual number, but there's like it must be a good 90-95% of the game has been updated, which is really good. But yeah, should we
There's a
just
lot of
get? Oh, sorry, Karen.
there's a lot of good changes, and it's nice because AMG kind of marketed it as a health change for the majority of characters, but there are meaningful changes in the right places on some characters as well. And it may be a number or two, but I think it'll have a massive impact on how often you'll see these characters.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, we all knew the health changes were coming, but the amount of character changes they've done, I was pretty shocked about in a good way. And also, we got a couple of team tactics cards that we'll go into that got changed, which is really really good. But yeah, should we just get straight into it, mate? We've picked a few of like the winners of this update. Do you want to go first, dude?
Yeah, I'll get the biggest one out of the way. I think you'll probably agree with me on this one. I think the biggest winner of the whole lot, despite the fact he had barely anything changed on his card, is Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The changes to the core rules with multiple things no longer fully affecting tokens means that I think he now is so good at his role. He can hit people with high amounts of damage. He can hit multiple targets. He's mobile. He's got control. He's got a counter attack. Like, there's not many things that Miles can't do. I'm expecting to see him everywhere, especially now that other four threats in and around him have been kind of pulled down. I think he has become kind of the premium four threat.
Yeah, I completely agree. And having a health buff as well, when he's almost felt sometimes impossible to kill with him, Ultimate Spider Sense, where he gets two rerolls against, physical energy or mystic. It feels like he hasn't really got too much of a weakness.
And mod skulls as well. So it's
Yeah.
not only is it two rerolls, it's mod skulls against anything. And then if you do hit him and don't kill him, he can counterattack you. So the kind of fear of trying to hit him, you either have to hit him really hard and hope you kill him and hope he doesn't hurt you back or pull you off points or whatever, or you just ignore him, in which case he's still going to be an annoyance.
Yeah, definitely. And I know one of our locals, you'll know him, Ian. Shout out to Ian, good guy. He runs Ultimate Spider-Man with Gwenom a lot, so even if you try to hit Ultimate Spider-Man, he's hitting you back, and then Gwenom's hitting you back as well, and it's just yeah, especially on a all webbed up turn as well, where you hit Ultimate Spider-Man because you need him off a point or you need him dead. Don't kill him, and then he just gets 7 dice straight back at you. Probably getting a wild and pulling you off the point that you're on. He is just very, very strong.
Yeah, it's the fact he has the mobility. He has the same superpower as Daredevil with the counter attack. So the fact that he can get the short move off it means it's even better than most counter attacks. Like if you compare it to, say, Sabretooth. I know Sabretooth's got aggressive, but Sabretooth is, if he doesn't get the aggressive move, he's staying where he is. Whereas Miles, it doesn't matter whether you hurt him or not, he's walking towards you, he will hit you. And he's got the potential of pulling you off a point. It's his kind of flexibility is insane.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost the fact that you just want to ignore him, but with the web swing 7 dice builder, he generally has the power, and then that master's venom blast. You can guarantee that a couple of the people around will be on 2 health left, and it can just annihilate your whole team. So yeah, he's definitely the biggest winner from this whole update, which I think's a little bit of a shame, but because I don't think he needed changing, especially he didn't need any extra health. But I think overall a lot more has changed, which I'm like very happy about. Cool. I've got one here. So mine's an actual affiliation that I put down. So I think a big winner of this is Asgard. So I think Angela's had a insane buff. The fact that it's not the size, it's the threat value now, so she can add up to 8 dice is massive. So if you're playing like, Adam Warlock or Dormammu or Thanos or anyone like that, or anyone 5 threat or above, she's just getting loads and loads of dice, which is really, really strong. The fact that Blades of Ichor pursuit happens automatically now is good, because I mean you'll know the pain, when you need to get a trigger on 5 dice. I think it's 5 dice. When you want to get the it's 5 dice. You just never ever get what you need, and it's just so frustrating. Whereas getting it automatically, she can just do that almost as a little move if she's not in range of using her Cyphos or Heaven's Wrath. So that's
Yeah,
really,
the
really
big
good.
thing is it doesn't cost a power as well, which is obviously it was a tax, and if you paid the tax and didn't get the benefit, it sucked, because you might as well have just walked, because you would have saved yourself a power. The other nice thing is obviously because it's a free cost, it means you can use it like as a kind of a combo. So when you use the cleave attack off Heaven's Wrath, you can then use it again to get a move.
Yeah.
So you can do Heaven's Wrath, kill the thing you've just hit with your big dice pool, get the move off Blades Vicar, and then hit somebody else with a Xiphos sword, and then potentially do Angelic Assassin and hit something else. So there is a potential of you getting up to 5 attacks in a round off her.
Yeah, definitely. Also, as well, her health buff, getting 7 on the front and 8 on the back, is like really big, because obviously she's got living ribbons where you can't reroll or more dice attacking her. So having a bigger health pool will help her out massively. So yeah, that's obviously a big win for Asgard. Thor 2 getting changed again. He'll be pretty good again. That's a massive winner for them. Enchantress getting a health buff. She's always struggled, getting attacked and dying quite quickly. So the health buff might help her out. Heimdall getting a health buff is pretty good. Scourge getting a health buff. Both Valks getting health buffs is massive. Warriors 3 getting health buffs, good. So yeah, they've got obviously Thor 1, Loki, and Hela are the last 3 which have got health buffs, and Hela's is pretty good. Because I know on her flip side, she's just pretty annoying, isn't she, Hela? So her getting extra health on her flip side is pretty massive.
Yeah, it's 5 health is still a little bit sensitive for me. She's definitely in the realm still of being one shot. I know she's got the captured souls stuff, but
Yeah,
it's. I would have liked to see her tweaked slightly, but I think she's fine. I don't think she's anything crazy.
no, definitely not.
I don't think you'll see her in Asgard all that often, because they have so many good options.
Yeah,
The big one for me is Loki, God of Mischief. Making him 6/6 is bonkers good because
Yeah.
he obviously he's getting the root aura, and then he gets hex when he flips over. He can count blanks on attack and defense if he pays for armor guard. Um, I can see him being really good in Sentinels and the Bastion, where you effectively get root twice, and he's more durable now, so he's harder to kill. Um, he's. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him a little bit more. I know you won't see him under the Loki leadership because of the alter ego, but I could definitely start seeing him in more Asgard lists going forwards now that he's not a 5/5 4 or 5 threat.
Yeah, definitely. And would you bring him with a gem? Would you bring him with mind or space, or just leave him as a 4 threat?
I think space is probably better for him for mobility, but having not played all that, seeing him that much, I wouldn't know. I suspect
Yeah.
it'll change that because everything has changed, or like even the characters that haven't changed, things changing around them does change the kind of logic that you'd go through in a game. I do think a lot of the kind of original things that we've got in our minds of how to play certain characters, there will be some changes in there somewhere. So I don't even think you can rely on old stuff. I think we're just gonna have to try things out and see how everything falls.
Yeah, I completely agree. Um, but yeah, that was I think Asgard are massive winners. They've got lots of changes, which is really good. Who's your next winner?
So my next one is kind of a combination because they're so crossed over. It's quite hard to differentiate them all. But a lot of the smaller mutant factions, so Weapon X, Hellfire Club, X Force, New Mutants, they've all got a bonus with a lot of the kind of lesser played characters in their affiliations getting health buffs or tweaks. I mean, the Weapon X leadership bonus is a massive benefit for them, but then Emma Frost getting health really helps New Mutants and Hellfire Club. Honey Badger getting changed get benefits New Mutants because obviously she's now affiliated. Weapon X gets a bonus, X Force gets a bonus. Omega Red got a change, so he's again boosting them, boosting Hellfire Club, so that's a benefit for them. Mr. Sinister got a bonus, so he's helping Hellfire Club out. Magneto's change again boosts Hellfire Club's options, so they can run taller if they want to. I think the only one of the and Archangel benefit again to Hellfire Club and X Force. Like all of those characters have had meaningful changes. I mean, the bonus health on Archangel suddenly means he's a little bit more durable. There's not many characters in those affiliations that wouldn't look at now and go, they're actually a useful option. I think the only one I'm still slightly interested to see how it all shakes out for is Shadow King. I know he's
Yeah,
had some changes, but I think I've got to see him in action before I make a decision on him because there's a lot of things that haven't changed on him
yeah,
that people have said they wanted change, and there's a lot of things that have changed on him, and I don't know how it'll all settle out.
yeah. I think Astral Fiend becoming zero cost is good because I think was it 3 or 4 power before, so I think it's 3 power. So obviously,
Yeah,
he does get power pretty well, but obviously, doing Astral Fiend and doing Nightmare Visions and all of those stuff, he was just he'd have had to have like 10 power to actually be relevant. My only issue is Astral Fiend is still an action, so I feel like he can like put Astral Fiend out and then get one attack, and then that's his go over.
I suppose the benefit is you've kind of got to look at it as it's a free action, so it's the same as a move action,
Yeah,
but he gets to stay where he is and then shoot somebody, so it effectively extend his range on Mental Shackle from range 3 to 5 and a bit, isn't it? Because it's range 2 range 3s is longer than range 5.
yeah,
So effectively, he's doubling that range of the attack, and a little bit more because you think the token's 1 inch, so it's a little bit more.
yeah. It is.
But it means
It is
it
good.
means he doesn't have to move, so he can
Yeah,
stay where he is. The only kind of downside is obviously he can be attacked by mystic attacks by it, so characters don't have to get close to him to punch him. So he does have to be careful how he places the token
yeah,
into some teams. And obviously, if he takes damage, the token gets removed, but he's only going to get hit by it once.
yeah.
It does
Yeah, I
It
think
does depend.
the only problem I've got with it sometimes is, because he's only a small move, is you can get him in a good position and he can keep bringing Astral Fiend out. But when like there's a round where it really matters, where he needs to be in the thick of it, he's just stuck at the back and he's not there. And he'll essentially it'll almost be like, obviously he's got like really long range, but it'll almost like he's got a stagger on him every single turn.
Possibly, but maybe you don't play him into every matchup.
Yeah,
Part of me wonders if he's a bit like oh, like he wouldn't play Magic into a heavy physical team or an energy team because she doesn't get her wilds defensively. Same with Strange Supreme, you wouldn't put them into a heavy team without books or kind of defensive tech because he's got better mystic defense and energy defense. You'd probably avoid running him into very heavy physical teams and instead try and get him to mix up with things like, I was going to say Guardians with a lot of their energy attacks, but there are quite a few physical attackers in there. But anything like that, or maybe even to Convocation. But then it does mean you're putting Mystic attacks into Convocation.
yeah,
So I don't know. I want to say he's improved, but I think he's one of these ones where he's got so much text on his card, you have to kind of play him and understand how he's going to play.
yeah. No, I agree.
But I think other than that, everybody else in those kind of smaller factions has got a boost in some way. I mean, even Deadpool getting a bonus health on his front side, I thought they'd give him more health on the back, but making him 5/6 means that he's no longer kind of going, "Oh, I'm dead." He doesn't feel like a two threat anymore.
Yeah, you can actually pick an extract up off the midline. Obviously not the first move because he still will die, but he could potentially like survive at least one, potentially two attacks. Whereas on
Yeah,
on full health, it's just like Toad, isn't it? Where Toad picks something up and he's just dead.
yeah. Deadpool's got a nice kit. Like he's got a place range 2. He's got a reroll attacking defensively. He can't be pushed to advance by super mystic attacks or superpowers. And he's got healing factor. The problem was the healing factor on his front side rarely mattered because he was either dead or he was on
Yeah,
full health. Like
yeah.
he was never sat at one realistically.
No.
So I do think it's benefited him quite a little bit. But then even on characters like Lady Mastermind got 3 health, Archangel got 3 health. Like there's just so many little. I didn't expect Emma Frost to get changes, and she got a boost. So I do think we're going to see more mutants on the table that aren't just Apocalypse, which I think is good for the game in
Yeah,
terms
we'll
of
we'll get we'll get into Apocalypse in a minute when we when we
yeah,
start doing the losers.
yeah. But I think it's good for the game to see mutants come back and probably be seen more in the metagame because they're such an iconic part of Marvel, but not through one specific source.
Yeah,
And because the affiliations are so incestuous, you can dual affiliate really easily. I know like there's a lot of crossover between Hellfire Club and New Mutants or Hellfire Club and Brotherhood. Like you can do a really easy switch list and be able to play both control and attrition quite easily now.
yeah, I completely agree. Um, my second winners was mutants as well. Obviously, like Honey Badger being able to interact with extracts is going to be pretty big. Um, that'll be really interesting because normally like you just ignore her, but if you stick an extract on her, then you're forced to sort of attack her. So that'd be pretty interesting. Pyro as well, I thought was a good change. The fact that it's not as easy to give out root and slow because it's 3 power instead of 2 now, but they swapped what's it called? Fire.
Stoke the flames,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Stoke the Flames is 2 from 3, which I think's good. I think that's a really, really good and healthy swap of swapping them two key roles over. I really liked that. What else have I got? Yeah, Hellfire and a good place. Emma getting another buff. Also, Amiga Red going to a medium move will be really, really good. I'm definitely eyeing him up for my Crimson. So yeah, that'll be really, really good. But yeah, mutants in general are in a good spot, and as you said, I absolutely love watching X-Men 97 and all the other cartoons with X-Men and all the films and stuff, and they are a massive part of Marvel. So it's really good to see more mutants on the table, because I think the last year at least, I've not really played against any mutants apart from in APOC. But I think it's really, really nice and healthy.
Yeah, I've not seen Hellfire Club on the table since they got nerfed. I've seen
Yeah.
X-Men only a handful of times. Weapon X might as well have not existed.
Yeah.
X-Force kind of the same, because they were just struggling. So it is nice to see a lot of these boosted. I know New Mutants are kind of semi-popular with how their leadership works, so they've definitely been a little bit more prevalent, but not to the point of. I think most people were playing Apocalypse if they wanted to play mutants, because he was just de facto the best mutant faction. Whereas now I think there is a bit of competition for what can be played.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, mate. Okay, what have you got for your third winner?
My third one, and I don't think it's anywhere near as big of a winner as the others, but I think it's Winter Guard. They have not been seen on the table. What can I say? Like in the past, I don't think I've seen them properly for at least 2 years. And even then, the only reason I saw them recently was because Greg, one of the friends of the podcast, took them out for a run and did okay with them. I think he went 2-2 with them. Like they're kind of they were underloved. Their affiliation list was so small, and a lot of the choices weren't great. But now I do think they are better. I don't think they're anywhere near the top kind of ranks, but just a boost on pretty much every character has helped them. I know Black Widow hasn't changed, but I think Ursa Major got a health buff. His, I think his throw got cheaper as well. His physical defense went up, so he's had a bonus. Winter Soldier, I remember seeing that. I think he got 3 health. I think.
Yeah, he got a health buff. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a big bonus. As you said, Omega Red's gone up. Like his kit is so good now. I think you're going to see him everywhere. Red Guardian's tweak is interesting. I mean, the reduction in the strength and the power of Siberian Shield Slam means he can use it more often, because his kit kind of forces him to spend power, like defensively. But I do think it's more interesting now that he can actually be doing that rather than relying on throws and strikes. He can actually throw people around rather than push, so it might increase his damage potential a bit more.
Yeah.
And obviously the health buff is nice for him, making him. I think he goes 6-6, isn't he? So he should be a little bit more durable. I don't think Dynamo changed. I think he stayed as he was, but he was pretty solid anyway. I think he was the only real solid option in Winter Guards, kind of the core stuff. And Darkstar having more health means she's got more power to play with when she takes damage. And obviously her spender getting tweaked is nice. I don't know how often it will be used, but she's just another tool in the toolkit. And if she's got more power to use, she's got more abilities to teleport people around and kind of be a bit more impactful. So I know they're not obviously the meta picks and what you'll be seeing dominating events, but I think Winter Guard have languished so long in the sub 40% percentage in games that it'll be nice to actually see them on the table with some chance of actually finishing high up in events.
Yeah, I agree. Also, as well, I think the secure is getting a bit narrower. It definitely helps them out, because obviously Dynamo sort of wants to plant his feet and sort of stay in, like, a certain position most of the game. Whereas obviously if you're running Winter Guard on, like, the D shape or anything like that, then he struggled just running around. So yeah, I think that's obviously helped them as well, and obviously all the changes have helped them, which is really, really good.
Agreed. With the leadership and Omega Reds, like between the two, they can play control style maps really effectively. Like they can box you out with a lot of shocks from Dynamo, and then Omega Red's possibly poisoning you, pulling you off points. He's pretty durable to take down. Dynamo's giving offensive like negates with the rerolls on attacks. Just the core of those two is going to be really hard to deal with. And then if they start, so depending on the map shape, they can pick one of the other affiliated options and then splash durable and kind of control pieces from there. I could see them being a real pain if you come up against them and you haven't got the tech to deal with them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Dynamo's defensive, getting the attacker to reroll two is so strong, especially because he gives out shock as well. So it can you can be doing attacks, attack after attack and just dealing no damage because obviously he's just forcing you to reroll your successes. But
I mean, just think about it this way: Dynamo and Omega Red have both got damage reduction, and they've both got annoying conditions in shock and poison. So they're going to be a pain in the backside to play against. But then imagine having Ursa Major coming towards you with 16 health. This is 8/8. With aggressive and a charge. I mean, he's got an auto stagger spender. His build is not bad. It's not insane, but it's not bad. He's got obviously a very cheap terrain throw now in size 3 within 2. So I mean, being able to get in amongst it was probably quite good for Ursa Major with it being tighter maps. But then Red Guardian with Comrade's Keeper's good as well. Like you can redirect attacks. That they've got some interesting options now. I look forward to potentially seeing them on the table.
yeah, definitely. Okay, my last winner. Can you guess what it's going to be?
Oh, please don't tell me it's Kingpin.
No, he's not a winner. he secretly is, but my last winner is Web Warriors. Obviously, we've gone on about USM. The everything about him is amazing. He's arguably the best fourth threat in the game, and you could argue there's not much competition for that at the moment, just because he's just got everything. Also, Agent Venom going 7/7 is really, really strong. ASM getting a health buff. Ghost Spider getting a health buff. Gwenum going to 7/8 is insane. Scarlet Spider getting a health buff. Don't get me started on Silk. She did not need a health buff, but yet they gave it to her because she is just, she's just insane. One of our locals, Jack, he does very, very mean things to us with Silk, doesn't he?
Yeah, I've not been on the receiving end of it yet,
Oh, I
but yes,
have.
I've heard the war stories.
Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, OG Pete's got a health buff, but arguably, I think he just needs reworking slightly. 2099 getting a health buff, and I think the other one, which is going to be very, very strong, which I'm definitely going to try out in my Kingpin list, is Spider Woman going 7/7 is insane.
She feels like a real force now.
Yeah, definitely.
You're missing the most important buff and also nerf in the entire faction, John. You've missed Silver Sable going 7/7, but she can no longer boost her own dice.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
So you heard it here first. Web Warriors nerfed.
There we
F tier,
go.
never going to be seen again.
She's nerfed until it's an all webbed up turn and she can just do it without paying power. But I am sorry, carry on.
How many characters didn't get a bonus in webs? I mean, what it's Spec, Black Cat, original
Noir.
Miles. Did Noir not get a change?
No.
Yeah. Oh, because he's got damage reduction. Yeah, because he's one of the sets of damage reduction characters.
Spider-Man.
Just
Venom didn't get changed. No, did Venom get changed?
no, Venom didn't have any changes.
No.
Not that I can see anyway.
Yeah, Venom got a health buff. Yeah.
Okay. So he's, other than the kind of core classic 9 threat core of Miles, Spec, Black Cat, I think everybody got at least some form of bump. which is it's interesting because obviously their defensive tech is re-rolls on the most part. I know a few of them don't have that, whether that's Daredevil or Moon Knight, or even Spider Woman, but majority of them is reliant on re-rolls. But yet characters with damage reduction didn't get a buff, and I'm interested to see if AMG ever talk about this of what the difference is between why they think damage reduction is more powerful than Spider Sense. Because obviously, if you've got more health and you can reroll defensively, there are times where you can damp a spike down. But there are times where damage reduction, if you take a big spike, it doesn't matter that you're going to reduce by one if you're already taking enough to kill you.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to know the thinking because obviously a lot of martial artists got bonuses as well. So I'd love to know the kind of maths that goes on behind the changes. Yeah, webs are definitely in a stronger position than they were
Which is
on
very
Sunday.
scary because I definitely put webs into strong S tier before the changes, and I was hoping what I was secretly hoping is that everyone else was going to get health buffs apart from them because obviously they've got the re-rolls and I don't feel like they need the health buffs because of as I said the re-rolls and everything. And I was hoping it was going to go from like a strong S tier to an A tier, which is still obviously an incredible place to be. But AMG were like, nope, they're not good enough. Keep going, keep going.
I do think there are weaknesses out there for webs now because there is more stuff that ignores mods. So obviously,
Yeah,
Agent Venom getting a bonus is also a nerf to webs because it means he's
yeah,
actually good outside of webs.
yeah, definitely.
Um, but then the changes to Killmonger 2, the boost to Echo, the boost to Prowler means they're more likely to stick around so they can use their anti-mod tech. Um, Boosts to characters that give out poison, such as Spider Woman, such as Omega Red, such as Warlock. Like that again limits Webs' like power potential. Um, Anything that gives out um, like conditions that hurt them, so bleed. Obviously, staggers are big. Like they do have their weaknesses, but
Yeah,
I think people will have to rotate into that tech because a lot of the stuff has been against Inhumans and Defenders. That's kind of what the meta has been. So it's been a lot more attrition focused, and I do wonder whether people will shift towards trying to have to deal with webs and the scenario a little bit more in
yeah.
this new world.
Also, you say, I mean, also that like their team tactics cards, like don't get me started on all webbed up like that just needs to change. The fact that they get everyone, everyone within three slowed and the two extra dice, like especially with the new webs, it's just insanely good. It nukes your whole team, and obviously webs just do the scenarios so well, and now they can do, they can go super attrition. I mean, obviously Jack in our local, he's absolutely smashing like Adam Warlock around the park and everything, and like Doctor Strange and all of the affiliations which are obviously super attrition. He's just being like, right, I'll out attrition you with webs. So they are really really strong. Obviously they've got brief reprieve as well, where you can just stagger them all, and they're just like, okay, we're just going to pay a power and get rid of the stagger. So they obviously, I know the tactics cards go after you've used it, but they have got ways around trying to counter them, definitely.
They've got a lot of tools in their toolkit, which is more than most affiliations have access to. Um, they they do have some phenomenal tactics cards. I can't think of many affiliations that can go toe to toe with them in terms of their tactics cards and how flexible they are as well. Because all webbed up can be used offensively and defensively,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it really depends on what the scenario is. But all three of their leaders are solid now. I mean, ASM getting us they're going to 7-7 is fantastic for him. But if you think you could quite easily run an ASM core of ASM Silk USM and have a solid amount of health on the board that can bump you off points, pull you with the different attacks, hit you with large dice pools, and be really mobile whilst doing it. They've got some real teeth now.
100%, mate. Yeah, definitely. As I said, it would have been nice for. I don't think, I think it'd have been nice for them not getting any changes. Um, because I think it would have sort of brought them back down to other affiliations. But yeah, we'll see how it is. Anyway, I've not played any games since the update, but I can obviously can imagine they are still very very strong. But yeah, I think the last thing I've got on my winners, which I absolutely love, is all the short movers, which turn to medium. So all the small base short moves are all medium move now. So you've got, you'll have to help me out here. You got both crossbones. You got Mysterio. You got Black Swan. Uh,
Super giant rather
Super
than Black
Giant.
Swan.
Sorry, yeah, Super
Yeah.
Giant. And then was there anyone else, or was it just them four?
The only other one that I can think of off the top of my head is Omega Red, being a medium base, medium
Ah, okay,
mover.
yeah, yeah,
Um, can't think of anybody else. There probably is somebody we're forgetting. Um, but I think the biggest winner out of those four of the small base short movers was Mysterio. I think you're
yeah,
going to see Mysterio so often now because
yeah,
his kit was solid before, but the fact that he doesn't have to line up and kind of telegraph what he's doing round one. He can be flexible about it. He can get to the position he wants and still attack the midline. He obviously the health bump for him. I know he's only got one health, but the benefit for him is obviously more power to spend to use all of his abilities, but also he can kill people and not have to. Like, sorry, he can attack people and not have to daze them. He can then advance them off tricks and traps and then walk away afterwards.
yeah.
So he's not accidentally spiking big traps and killing somebody. He can kind of escape and be kind of annoying in your opponent's turn.
Yeah, definitely, and also it'll be much easier for him to get into a good position for like Grand Illusion turn as well. Whereas sometimes, when you've got him plus Grand Illusion, you could feel like he's on the back point, and that card's almost lost because the fight's like the other side, and there's no way he's going to be able to like move into it. But being a medium move now, he can definitely get there. Um, Also, as well, potentially like pairing him Enchantress up with Loki, like OG Loki. So then it's costing the opponent 3 power to get through their defensive techs pretty good.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Mysterio a lot, and I think it's good because the model is absolutely beautiful. And obviously he's a very iconic Spider-Man villain, so I'd be glad to see him. Although I might be changing my mind in about 6 months' time when I've seen him for the 100th time.
Yeah. But yeah, spoiler alert, I've put Mysterio I've put Mysterio, Omega Red, and Spider Woman in my. Well, I've gone back to Kingpin because I was on Sentinels and I wasn't enjoying the. I wasn't enjoying, um, fluffing on the dice all the time. But that's another story. So I've gone back to my bread and butter, and yeah, trying them three. So yeah, we'll see how they get on. But awesome. Right, should we get into some losers, mate? I think
Yeah,
I'll start off really quick just because it's the biggest loser of all. I think is going to be Apocalypse. So yeah, Apocalypse getting a massive nerf, which I think's great. I've got a little hot take myself. I think the only people moaning about APOC getting nerfed too much was the people which were playing APOC and pretended that it was absolutely fair and balanced. So there we go.
I I'm glad to see APOC brought back down. I think the leadership was a little bit too good.
Yeah,
The concept was good, but the execution was probably too good, especially as the characters that you were taking it on were egregious because you would only take it on specific ones because they could take advantage of it. Like you would never put War on, I don't know, Wolverine because Wolverine doesn't take advantage of it anywhere near as much as say Magic does. So I'm glad that they've kind of balanced it all out, and I do feel like a lot of the Horseman cards are more aligned with each other now, because obviously Famine's place two was great, but it wasn't anywhere near as good as Double War Builders or Double Walk Pestilence Bomb round one and root your opponent's entire team. So it does feel beneficial, but now Death actually feels like a useful ability. You're not just taking it as a way of kind of milking three tokens out of it. The loss of offensive rerolls is nice as well, because it means now that they're not going, I'm super consistent at attacking you, I'm super consistent at defending against you, and I've got all these superpowers that benefit me, so I can be more mobile than you, more offensive than you, and then kind of turn off all of your agency to fight me back.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I've said it before. I felt like playing against APOC. I think thematically they absolutely nailed it. Like it is such a great thematic affiliation, and I think they did really really well creating it because I think it's the only affiliation really that you just don't need any splashes. Obviously, I know like me and you play. We like to play affiliations which haven't got too many splashes, but APOC can just do that, and it was really nice. But it was just too good. I felt like the Horseman cards were effectively adding a threat onto the characters. So you'd be 4 threat down on turn zero. So obviously, I think the changes are good.
Agreed.
I
I also
mean,
think that the change to the token generation is massive, because the fact that you're not getting a token to start with, you're getting at the end of the first round, means that no, you have to work to get the Pestilence Bomb and everything else to work now. So you can't just go, right, okay, I'm going to gambit to the midline as Famine, get a token, and then Beast will double walk into your back line and spread poison or slow or roots and kind of ruin the opponent's agency of being able to fight back. And then Magic and Apocalypse then spend it really well to use the war superpower just to absolutely delete something, and you can do nothing in response.
yeah,
It does give now some kind of room for APOC to actually explore, because before it was pretty much solved. You just take the same 17 or 18 and then splash Nebula at higher threats to just keep the kind of attrition pressure on.
yeah. Also, I think with APOC, it almost felt like APOC was playing chess, but was playing against a computer that it didn't really matter what they did round one. Like APOC would still just do the exact same things. So it's quite nice. I think war being twice per turn was ridiculous because it just whatever war attacks is just it just nukes. So I mean they're still going to get the effect of it once per turn. I think Famine having no changes is okay, but yeah, Pestilence going up to 3 power instead of 2 means Beast can't just do it round one, which is great.
Yeah, it also
Obviously,
means it's more of a tax to Apocalypse as well, because Apocalypse can obviously do it. He doesn't. He very rarely does it, but with his such big base, the range. I think it's range 3 aura. Is so insane
yeah,
that making it so it costs him more, whether it's tokens or whether it's his own power. But there is a limit there.
yeah, definitely. Also, Famine having no changes means APOC can still do it round one. It just means he can't do it and pick up an extract. He's got to use his his power and his token. Obviously, what they I think it's Famine that they get the token from. If if you end your activation without not within 3 other enemy
Yeah, it
characters.
is.
So they still do Famine first. So yeah, he'd still be able to Famine. So it's still going to be it's still going to be a very good affiliation. It's just not going to be as ludicrous as it was because obviously the evolution tokens won't be allowed for rerolls on attack or dodge, which I think is good because before it was just going on war and then getting rerolls on top of that, and then obviously rerolls on defense. It just felt like you just couldn't really you know put put a dent into them. So Yeah, I think it's going to
Yeah,
be good.
yeah, it's nice. It's brought them down. I don't think it's. I've seen a few people online saying that's it, APOC's dead, and I disagree entirely. I think they're now a fairer faction. I still think they're probably above the curve because of the way the leadership works.
Yeah,
But especially as so, the leadership now is no longer a big plus on kind of middling characters or kind of lower characters. It's now a smaller step on a more average base. So it means that you can play around with who you play. It's not, oh, I have to play Magic, I have to play Gambit, and I have to play Beast. There are now options to go, okay, maybe Sabretooth's an option, maybe Cassandra Nova's an option, maybe
yeah,
maybe Honey Badger's an option. Like because there are options that weren't any good before that have had buffs, and you look at them and think,
yeah,
they're worth a
definitely. I
try.
mean, as we said, like a lot of the mutants got buffs, and a lot of the mutants that got buffs are in Servants of the Apocalypse. So yeah, I think it's a healthy spot for them to be in. As you said, it won't just be the usual. Just going to take Gambit, Magic, Beast, and Toad, and just you know just make everyone everyone's lives miserable. It'll they'll be working for it, which I think is a good spot to be in.
Yeah. I think it means that it has to be more of a toolbox affiliation. There will be times where you'll want to dig for Wolverine and Sabretooth because you're playing against something where you need to go attrition.
Yeah,
And it's a wider threat, it's a taller threat, whatever it is.
yeah, definitely.
Or there might be times that you go, actually, I want Toad and Honey Badger because it's 16 threat. And they can do that now. Whereas before, 16 threat was kind of an awkward one for APOC.
Yeah,
Bringing Honey Badger may not be a bad thing because you can still score your points.
yeah. I mean, Magic's still very, very good. Gambit's still really good. So at 16, you could run APOC, Honey Badger, Toad, Magic, Gambit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'd get all the horsemen, but
Yeah,
the characters there would be good.
I've never played APOC, so I forget what horsemen can do what. But yeah, I mean, they could, as I said, they could go APOC, two threats and 2 3 threats, and have all the horsemen. Obviously, I'm not sure if M4 would work, but there's plenty of options out there.
Yeah, if John's got it wrong, let us know in the Discord.
John John gets it wrong all the time, so it'll be pinging every 5 minutes, mate. Okay, what's your first big loser, and did I steal it from you?
So my first one was Apocalypse, but I don't think he's a loser in the terms of he's gone from hero to zero. I think he's
Yeah,
hero to kind of middling, which is
yeah,
where I wanted him to be. I think the next one is anybody that has gained Peerless that's a leader, because it now means you can't splash in really big, scary options as an additional kind of switch. So you can't take Adam with CGR, you can't take CGR with Thanos, you can't take CGR with Mephisto, which obviously are all thematic options. They can't be played together. But then you can't run I know you and I have seen it before, where Tony from events we've been to has run King T, M'Baku, and Ihulk because
yeah,
King T and Ihulk have got Peerless. You can't run Thor 2 and Hulk. Like you have to run, if you want to run kind of the original Avengers, you have to run original Thor. There's so many permutations of characters with Peerless now that I'm hoping it will stop a lot of the kind of very stupid skew lists, but I don't think it will be. Well, I say losers in a very loose sense, but I think they've lost out on options. But I don't think in a negative way for the game as a whole.
yeah. Also, a big one was Malekith and Red Skull too. They've
Thank
both got
God.
Peerless, so I used to run
But,
that a little bit. So
but also
yeah,
Kang loses out on Red Skull too. Kang loses out on Malekith. Kang loses out on Magneto.
is Kang Peerless now?
Kang's always been Peerless. When he released, he was
Oh yeah,
Peerless.
I was looking at the changes and I couldn't see it there, but yeah, that
Yeah.
is a good shout. Yeah,
Well, if you think Cabal has the most amount of Peerless models, it has Kang, Magneto, Malekith, Mephisto, Red Skull. So that's five characters that can't be played together. So if you're playing one as a leader, because there's two leaders in that list for Cabal, you can't take any of the other four.
Yeah.
It then does limit how tall you can go, which isn't necessarily an issue,
Yeah.
because I think those kind of all of those are very high threat characters, but it does kind of limit a lot of the stupidness you can have between those kind of characters where they just absolutely table stomp somebody, which I think is what AMG are trying to avoid.
Yeah, I completely agree. And just talking about Peerless, my second loser was Inhumans. Not so much Inhumans in general, but on Black Bolt. Black Bolt becoming Peerless. I mean, you never really saw. I could be completely wrong, but I never saw Black Bolt outside of his own leadership. But I guess it helps. It helps him not take like CGR and, I mean the leadership's changed now anyway. But like before, you could just give CGR loads of power and he'd just be like a nightmare. But I think the leadership change is really really healthy. So yeah, it's once during each of your turns, one allied character within 5 of an activated character may spend one at any time. If it does, the activating character gains 1 power. So it's not like you can't just go with Gorgon anymore, meditate, and just give Voodoo like 3 power before he's activated, and he can just move and possess someone on the midpoint. So I think it's very very good that you can only do it, or effectively only once per round per character. I think it's really
Yeah,
good.
there's some characters that definitely lose out from it. I mean, USM is still stupid in
Yeah,
Inhumans, but I think he's stupid everywhere. So
yeah.
I'm kind of ignoring him in that factor.
Quicksilver misses out on it because effectively you used to be able to, you gave him 2 power. I mean, he'd be able to speedster, move, pick up any extract and move back, whereas he can't do that now.
Yeah, but although he can do um, he has had a tweak where he can drop tokens to speedster, which is nice. So
Yeah, I like that.
he's had a little bit of a benefit as well. So I mean, Inhumans I still think are still good. I mean, Black Bolt is still a very scary 5 threat because
Yeah,
they didn't change him himself. They've just changed the leadership, which affects characters around him. I mean, you can still do the um, Black Bolt Lockjaw, teleport him up, and then he gets to move and hit somebody or double hit something on the midline, which is incredibly scary with a 6 dice reroll 1 with Pierce attack,
yeah.
which is energy, which is the worst defense in the game. He's still a scary model. Um, so I don't think he himself has lost out. It just stops a lot of the kind of stupid bigger characters coming in together.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Maximus getting a health buff, that side of the Inhumans leadership is still very strong. I know we've got in our Discord Jamal, and he's been running Maximus quite a bit, and I mean, I recorded one of his games, and yeah, it's very very strong how he's playing it. And I mean, he was playing Black Bolt in that leadership. But yeah, Maximus just having more health just makes him more reliant, and yeah, I think obviously it's the same with APOC. They're still in a good spot, but they've just had that little nerf that they needed. Because I think there was a point where Inhumans and APOC were just rolling rolling through most affiliations. So it's nice that they've toned it down a little bit.
Yeah, I still think Inhumans are still very good because Terragenesis exists, and
Yeah, they've
there
not
is
changed
there
any
is
of that.
there's 5 civilians, so that's that's a big one.
Yeah,
The biggest lot, I think, the biggest loser of Inhumans is actually Medusa, because Medusa can't take 2 big models now and then abuse the leadership that way. Because the one time I've played against Medusa was take Medusa, take Black Bolt, and one of the versions of Black Bolt, and then take a Hulk or something of that nature, and then
Yeah.
just go for the I'm going to table you. You're not going to score points quick enough kind of game plan.
Yeah.
And obviously with Black Bolt getting peerless, you can't do that now. You can't, and it's both versions of Black Bolt. You can't then splash in a Hulk or a Red Skull 2 or a Thor 2. Like all of that stuff is kind of limited out, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. Um, I think they've really sort of hit the tool lists quite well. I mean, we all know I don't really like running tool lists anyway, so I'm quite happy that there's not too many killers on the battlefield. But
Do you
yeah,
think there's anybody that didn't get peerless that should have had peerless?
oh, that is a good shout. I've not thought about this.
Because I wondered if Blue Marvel should have had peerless.
Oh, they should have peerless Blue Marvel and Doctor Strange.
No, I don't
That would
think
have
they
been
do.
funny.
I, I don't know, but Blue Marvel, I did wonder about Peerless because he again is one of these characters you can break a little bit. Because imagine splashing him in Adam or other places like that. It just stops a lot of that silliness. The one I find is the most interesting, and I'm interested to hear your opinion on it, is Dracula because they
Yeah,
gave Dormammu and Mephisto Peerless, who are the you can take anything factions, but they didn't give it to Dracula, who is another you can take anything you want faction. So technically, you can take a Peerless model in Dracula, but Mephisto can't do anything like that in a similar way, despite being the same threat.
yeah. No, I completely agree. It is interesting.
The,
I think they should have given Dracula peerless because, as you said, they made Mephisto peerless. So I think any affiliation that, like, obviously Dormammu is peerless. And if Emma still had, like, the openness of like taking whoever she wants, them characters should have peerless. So I think Dracula should have had peerless.
the only reason I don't think Dracula has Peerless is because Dormammu and Mephisto's leadership is a power generation leadership, so they can abuse bigger threat models who spend power better than, say, a 3 threat or a 4 threat. Dracula gives you the bleed thing, which doesn't really benefit a lot of models. It's very conditional. They're like the occasional heal one, heal one.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's the biggest factor because I don't think by himself Dracula is insane. I think he's very good at what he does, but he doesn't run a board in the same way as say Malekith used to or King T used to. I don't know whether he will now with his changes, but his kind of impact on the board isn't crazy, and the leadership doesn't make that worse. Whereas Mephisto, you know what Mephisto's going to do? He's going to be annoying. He's going to grab tokens. He can incinerate people. He can do a lot of damage. But then having it so that he can bring characters into his affiliation and go, you get a bonus power, right? Okay, you've now hit your boundary for you suddenly to be able to do this every round. He can break some characters, so that's why I do wonder whether difference comes in.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think another one which, I mean, there's two that should have, well, technically three that should have had Peerless, I think, on top of Dracula. I think Ultron Metal Tyrant should. I know a lot of people on like 19 Threat on Cabal are running Red Skull 3, Ultron, Dracula, and Mephisto, and you can still do that because Mephisto is the only one which is Peerless. The other two as well, I've literally just looked. So all the 6 Threat Plus are all Peerless apart from Hulkbuster and She Hulk. But if they're going to do it over a threat value, then potentially they should have made Hulkbuster and She Hulk Peerless.
Yeah, I She-Hulk I think is less egregious because of the way she works.
Yeah. I don't think naturally on a egregious level. I think just because all the other 6 threats plus are, they should have just probably done it to
Yeah,
them too as well.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, Hulkbuster, I think, has had a massive glow up,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and they might retroactively go back and give him Peerless, but until that happens, I do expect to see him quite a few places because he's definitely one of the kind of bigger winners of character tweaks. Um, Obviously, losing
Yeah,
his leadership means he's not going to be taken everywhere
you just
in
run him in
Avengers.
Sam though, don't you? Really?
Yeah, yeah, he'll be really kind of prevalent, which
Yeah,
is great because I love that model. It's one of the best models AMG's ever produced, and
I
it's
agree.
really it's been really disappointing that it's been sat on so many people's shelves for years.
Do you know why that
It's
is? Do you know why it's been sat on everyone's shelves for years and everyone had the model?
Go
Because
on,
back in the day, everyone wanted fullback, didn't they? And
yeah,
that was the only place you could get fullback from.
and Helios as well.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean
that
that
as well. Yeah, but no, I think Hulkbuster's great. Also, Hulk himself had a massive nerf. So I know a lot of people were running Sam, wide Sam with Hulk, and obviously being able to move Hulk and get rid of Stagger, and stuff like that when someone dazed. But Hulkbuster could easily replace Hulk in that sort of same game plan.
yeah, I've mixed on Hulk. I agree Hulk is definitely not as good as he used to be with the 20 health and the fact you can burn him down. I think people need to look at his kit now as he's not a control piece. He is a all-out damage piece.
Yeah,
And there are games where he will just run a board because your opponent can't like take him down quickly enough for whatever reason, whether it's because he's got a bodyguard with him or he's just rolling kind of consistent all the way through and just flattening things. I don't think he's bad. I just think you have to know when to use him. I think
yeah,
there
I
are there
agree.
are maps he's really good on.
Yeah, he'll struggle under obviously like OG cap now because obviously that leadership's changed where it's a refund. So the fact is Gamma Leap's gone up to 4 power. He can't obviously do that straight away. Um, but yeah, I think if you run Hulk, you just have to expect he's not going to do too much round one. And then round two, I mean, if you don't pick up an extract, he starts on 6 power and you can just start punching faces in with him.
Yeah, I mean, imagine it this way where he double walks up and then picks up terrain and throws it. I mean, he's still getting his damage off early, and under Steve 1, he goes back to 2 power. So it means he starts the next round on 5 power, so he can Gamma Leap for 3 effectively, and then start wailing on people.
Yeah.
I don't think he's bad. I agree he's definitely not the best sixth threat like he used to be. Like he's not the S tier sixth threat, but I do think he's getting people looking at him from the control lens, which is the way that Hulk used to be played. And I think now he's definitely the angry rage monster that we've seen in movies and
Yeah,
comics and everything else.
definitely. I mean, it's interesting because obviously he used to be played everywhere, and even though he hadn't had his nerf, like I don't know about you, but I've not seen Hulk on the board for a good 8 or 9 months. Everyone's just stopped playing him. I mean, essentially, the Hulks aren't as good with the new Crisis because they used to be really good at holding like the cubes or Deadly Legacy or hammers especially. So obviously that stopped Hulk's being played as much, but Hulk before the changes was still very very good. It's just interesting how like everyone stopped playing him.
Yeah, I do think with Hulk, he's not an every game piece. He's a toolbox piece if you're taking him. Um, which like there are certain maps that I think he's great on, like on the triangle survivors shape, he's great. On sources, he's great because he can bully somebody. Like they go early to pick up a source, to try and grab it, and he goes right, okay, you're getting deleted, and you know that you're not going to give up priority by doing that. And if people start to try and burn him down and can't do it quickly enough, he will just start wailing on your team. Like 20
Yeah,
health seems like a lot. The other thing is obviously with people getting a lot of health, I do wonder whether the game will shift from trying to be consistent damage to one shot characters to trying to almost like pinpoint accurately kill characters at the right time. So it'll be, I need a daze of this round to get the swing turn. I need so there won't be as many efficient killers on the board, because a lot of the characters that really dealt with Hulk really easily, like King T and Red Skull 2, have kind of had their ceiling pulled down a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe he's more viable. I do think he's gone from a control piece to an attrition piece now, which isn't a problem, because I mean there's 7 dice attacks he's throwing that can go up to what, 11 dice attacks if he's near the end of his health pool. I mean, having an 11 dice builder coming at you is very scary.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely agree. Okay, I've got three which are pretty big nerfs in a row. So I think Spirit of Wakanda getting changed, so you don't get power now. You can place yourself one, I believe took over. So there won't be any more Wakanda, which obviously I played for a bit and I really enjoyed, but I'm glad it's been changed because it was just ludicrously good. So that definitely needed changing. So that's good. King T himself getting changed. I mean, it's a massive, massive change. So I think the first big change is Defender of Wakanda. The fact that the first time each turn that another ally character is dealt damage, he gains a power, but it's only the first time. So you have that sort of bubble when you're fighting him that you can, double tap someone without worrying about him having bound online straight away. So that's pretty big. He'll obviously, not gain as much power as the game goes on, whereas, before you could not touch him ever and he'd just randomly start getting like, 8 or 9 power. So I think that's a massive change, which is really good. Bound itself has got a huge change where you don't get 2 dice, you don't 2 extra dice, you get 2 rerolls. Which, I mean, if you're within 2 with Vibranium Spear, it's still a 6 dice with 4 rerolls, so it's still very good. But you can obviously lock yourself on skulls and stuff, and the he'll still be good at dealing damage, but it won't be dealing as much damage. So I think that's it's a really good change.
Yeah, I'm very glad they pulled King T down. King T was one
Oh,
of
you
these
loved
characters
him.
where, oh, I hated him. Because no matter what you did, he always had power. Like,
Yeah,
you couldn't damp his power in any way, because stun wouldn't hurt him because he was always generating power. If you attacked him, he'd hit you back. If you hit somebody else, he'd have power to hit you back. He was very oppressive. Unless you could like throw him away, and even then he'd probably run over and one shot a character with how consistent
yeah,
he was. So I'm very glad that he's been kind of pulled down. I'm just, I'm the biggest one for me, and it always felt really weird, was that he had a better power generation effect than Ghost Rider, when he is just a man and Ghost Rider is a man infused with the power of gods and demons and all the rest of it. I didn't understand how he was generating more power. So I'm very glad that he's not just continuously gaining power, especially as his is any damage effect, whereas Ghost Rider was just attacks. So I think the first time, like the 1 power return, is good for him because he generates power really well anyway with the Vibranium Spear. Admittedly, he was rolling 8 dice, re-rolling 2, but I mean 6 dice, re-rolling 4 when he bounds is still going to do a lot of
yeah.
damage.
It's still scary.
Yeah. I think for me, if you ever see King T now, Black Cat, Tigra, and Bast are kind of the characters you want to bring out against him.
100%. Angela.
Angela as well, yeah. To
Yeah.
be fair, Angela probably deletes him back quicker than he deletes her.
Yeah, because I mean, she's adding 5 dice into him. She's
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
very strong.
well, if you think she adds 5 dice on her spender, she can then pick up terrain and throw it at him. And if she gets, so she could do spender, builder if she gets the cleave, and then throw terrain at him if he's still alive. So she could quite happily deal with King T now.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I'm kind of glad that he's been pulled back down more in line with five threats. He did feel very oppressive because if you played against him and you'd want to attack people early for kind of committing to the midline, but you'd see him and go, I don't want to give them power. I don't want to give him power.
Yeah.
So you can feel a little bit more comfortable now. You're not just like, for example, rapid fire characters. You're not suddenly just going to give him two power and let him bound for free.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, before against playing against Wakanda, I mean, it used to frustrate my opponents a lot, but I just never attacked. I mean, it was easier for me because obviously running Kingpin, you don't really attack too much anyway, but you just wouldn't attack anyone until he's actually got the three power, and then once he's got the three power, he was always going to have power. So you're just like, okay, I can just do whatever I want now. But that sort of gave you like a round and a half of avoiding him, which was really good. But now, yeah, he's not as good, which is really good. Obviously, like as we said, six dice with four rerolls, he's still going to be strong. I mean, Panther Fury's still good. Wisdom of the Ancestors, he's still a solid five threat, but he's not like, you know, pound for pound the best killing machine out there now, which I think's good.
Yeah, both him and Red Skull 2 getting a pull down is nice because they are glass cannons, but they're not just going dead, dead. Because one of the worst things, one of the worst feelings in the game is having a character one rounded, where they don't get to activate, they don't get to do anything, and you're like, oh well, I might as well have not brought them. I know the health benefits will help them stay up, but having it so that although King T and Red Skull are kind of they're very average at their damage, so you know where their kind of middle line should be. There isn't this massive kind of spike on them. You know where their ceiling is as well.
Yeah,
So unless he rolls six crits, he's not going to do 12 damage. Whereas before with Vibranium Spear, he could do 12 damage, no problem.
yeah,
It wasn't a surprise when he'd do it.
yeah. Talking about King T, looking at his card, obviously he's 7/7, and obviously you've got characters, I don't know, like USM who's 7/7 now, but USM's got defensive tech and a clapback. I mean, effectively USM's better than King T now, I would say.
I think that's a USM problem rather than a King T problem, if I'm
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
if you compare King T to other five threats, he's the same as ASM. He's the same as Namor. He's the same as what Angela. Like a lot of these five threats are 14 health, so it's not unsurprising.
But yeah, I think it's
But
quite scary when we're getting some of the four threats with five threat health.
yeah,
It's
the
yeah,
one that amazes me is Clea because she has 13 health, 7 on the front, 6 on the back. I know she has to roll and see if she takes damage for gaining power, but a 3 threat with 13 health is insane.
yeah. I think the only one which has got more as a free threat is probably Groot.
Yeah,
But
but that's because
again,
what Groot
he's
is just the bodyguard for Rocket, isn't he?
yeah, that's
Realistically,
it. Yeah,
he is a bigger health pool for Rocket.
yeah. I'd have liked to see a little bit of change with Groot. Just sort of trying to sort of free him off a little bit. So like you'd essentially want to take him without Rocket. I think that'd have been quite nice to see like a little bit of a change. But yeah. Anyway, going into my other change, which we've talked very briefly about, is Red Skull. I think it's a good change. I mean, effectively, it's one of those. It dice be dice. Empower gauntlets, he could end up doing a lot more damage, counting skulls as crits than blanks. But it really depends what you roll. Obviously the window's higher technically because obviously if you get more skulls you're more crits, so you got more dice, but I don't think it's as effective. Obviously it wouldn't be, when he was counting blanks on 6 dice he was generally doing 4 maybe 5 damage per attack, whereas now it's probably a little bit less, which I
Yeah,
think's good.
Yeah, Red Skull's taken a hit in two areas, hasn't he? For his damaged output, but also his grunts getting reduced,
Yeah,
and health
much needed.
and distance. So he definitely feels less egregious in terms of fighting against. He's still going to be a powerhouse of hitting you, but it won't. I don't think like you'll have to make this decision of, do I have to kill the grunts? Oh, I've left the grunts on one health. What do I do? It's, you can kill the grunts pretty easily with a lesser character, and then kind of commit your attrition focused piece into killing Red Skull as quickly as possible, um, but not worry that he's just going to take two models off the board really easily. That he will be consistent at killing one model around at least.
Yeah, I'd have quite liked to see um, Leviathan armor becoming like Omega Sentinels and Visions, where he can pay 2 power and change it mid activation, like if he gets targeted, because obviously Blitz Strike only being a gainer and him spending 2 foot in power gauntlets, he struggles with power. So I think it's not egregious to make that cost 2 power either, because essentially
Yeah,
he's only got 13 health, which we've just spoke. Clear's got the same health as him, and she's 2 threat lower.
I think the thing with the changing is the abilities he gets, because unlike Vision, Vision doesn't have mobility in his attacks. Vision is what, um, historically kind of known for being able to change stuff on the fly, a bit like how Omega does in comics and things.
Yeah,
Red Skull, like I like the idea that he has to change, because then he's a big threat, kind of tool that you have to know how to use correctly. He's very much like a multi. He's not a multi tool. He's a sledgehammer, and it's knowing what to sledgehammer with and how to kind of protect it.
yeah,
Whereas Vision does feel a little bit more like kind of a multi tool. He adapts to what's in front of him. He's not going to hit really hard, but he has options to do what he wants. He can pick up terrain. He can pick up people. He can beam multiple people. He's got a lot of options. Whereas Red Skull is doing one job. So I do like the differentiation between them.
yeah. No, I definitely agree. Just thought it'd be pretty cool, but no, it definitely makes sense, because essentially, like, obviously when he's gaining power, he's hurting himself as well. But no, that makes sense. Also, the Hydra Troopers being range 3 instead of range 4 is good, because it means they either have to stay on the back of the secure and they won't be in range of anyone, or they've got to put themselves in danger to get the attacks off that they want. So I think them only going to 2 health and range 3 instead of 4 is it's big. I think Red Skull's still obviously very strong, and we'll still see him getting played. I know I know Tom from our Discord doesn't agree with us, but I think he is still Red Skull is still good.
Yeah, I still think Red Skull will be good. I just think he's less kind of obnoxious to play against now, which is kind of what you want.
Yeah. So I think King T and Red Skull 2 getting changed were big nerfs, but definitely deserved nerfs. And the last thing I've got is just, which we've gone over briefly, is Captain America's leadership getting nerfed. I think the refund is much better, because it means there's going to be a lot less turn one jank. Obviously, you've still got the characters like Moondragon. When she's got the mind gem, she'll be able to still do whatever she wants, because she starts every round with 2 power, so it will effectively not affect her. But I think everyone else it affects pretty. Shang can't. All the charge characters with 2 power, they can't charge straight away. Thor can't just double move and throw someone. Obviously, they can do all of this stuff after round 1, which is absolutely fine. But I think stopping it in round 1 feels much fairer, I think.
Yeah, agreed. I think it'll create different scenarios, which is good, because it means AMG aren't having to balance around the fact that, oh, if we do this, Steve 1 makes it so that they can charge round 1 or do something earlier than AMG want them to, which I think is a benefit for the game, because they're not having to then think about that. I think the biggest winners of this are anybody that's got like single cost effects, such as um, like for example, Invincible Iron Man can pay to reduce by one to a minimum of zero, and it costs him one power. He effectively gets a free one every round, every turn.
Yeah.
So he suddenly becomes more durable. Um, so anything like that. I mean, suddenly characters like Voodoo and Cable suddenly become really good under Steve when they weren't really getting the benefit as much before, um, because they can now use their abilities and get power back, whereas they couldn't use the reduction on their terrain pickup or their possession. So that there is some benefit for that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's not like a massive nerf, but it's a nerf enough where there isn't just so much turn one jank, which I think obviously AMG have tried getting rid of lots of turn one jank. Obviously that getting changed, Spiritful Conda getting changed, APOC getting changed. I mean, X-Men still can do turn one jank, so it'll be interesting to see whether a few months time with all these health buffs, whether they'll look at certain X-Men cards, like To Me My X-Men and cards like that, to stop them getting turn one jank. Because obviously they used to be the king of turn one janks, and all the other turn one stuff, like getting errated or getting changed, potentially they just come back and they're like, "Hey, we're back, baby," and just take all your extracts. And yeah, so it'll be interesting if they change any of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure X-Men will get a nerf with the card because it just power tax them elsewhere.
Yeah,
But we'll have to see. I mean, it is a tactics card and it is power tax on the leader, whoever's taking it. But we'll have to see what X-Men players think of after playing a little bit.
yeah, definitely. We've got a couple in our Discord, so we'll definitely get them on the channel and see how they feel in a couple of weeks. But have you got any more losers as such, or should we get
No,
on
no, I
to
think.
any changes?
Oh no, I have got
Okay.
one,
Yeah.
and somebody that caught strays of somebody else being really good is Baron Strucker. Tactical
Yeah.
insight on him feels a lot more um, difficult for him to swallow compared to on Zemo. Um, so I think he's kind of caught strays of Zemo's strategic genius with Namor, and I understand that they've probably changed it to stop the 8 threat bubble of Namor double bubble. Um, but I do feel a little bit sorry for Strucker. Um,
Yeah.
so part of me wonders whether they should have just introduced a standard, like in the way we've got stealth and flight and warcrawler as a standard effect, whether they should have said master tactician or like elite general or kind of something like that, and made that a core rule effect, and then
Yeah.
said, okay, all of these characters get this, and then it stops the double bubble in any way, because then you're not getting Zemo 2 next to Namor, you're not getting Strucker next to Namor, you're not getting Strucker next to Zemo 2. Like, you're not getting any of this problem. But I think it's fine what they've done. I just think Strucker's kind of suffered a little bit as a result.
Yeah, I agree. And well, I mean, we were just talking about Cap. Zemo still feels fine in Cap because he gets tactical insight for free. But again, because it's not both, but it's not both attacks or both defending. It feels more fair. But awesome. I think I've got a couple of changes that there's only two that I feel like the characters just need slight rework. So obviously, when we found out about the small movers going into medium movers, I instantly looked at Crossbones One to see whether he was playable now, and he still isn't at all really. So I'd like to see Crossbones One get changed. Also, I feel like Punisher needs changing. Obviously,
I'm into that. Punisher still doesn't, for me, doesn't feel like Punisher.
yeah,
It does feel like somebody cosplaying as Punisher.
yeah. No, I completely agree. Obviously, you'd probably have more insight of what what could Punisher be like. Um, and I mean, you could probably talk about 30, 40 minutes about Punisher changes that you'd love to see. So if you want to know if you want to know any Punisher changes, then definitely join the Discord, and Ollie will love to talk to you about Punisher, because he is he's one of the street level characters that you absolutely love.
Yeah, I love Punisher to bits. So if any buffs to Punisher would be great. I know he had
Yeah,
health, but I
it's not
there are
enough.
a few things yeah, there's a few things I'd change on him. I think he's if you build a list around him, you can make him work, but
Yeah,
he doesn't fit in his own affiliation, which I think is often a sign that a character needs a tweak.
yeah, I completely agree. Um, yeah, and then very quickly, until and then we're going to go into some hot takes from a Discord. But there's four characters. I've already named three of them, but I forgot my boy. So I'm going to try out Mysterio, Spider Woman, Omega Red, and Claw. Claw's got a health buff, which is very very good. So yeah, I'm going to try all four of them characters out, and then when we do a deep dive into my affiliation, I'll definitely let you know how I'm feeling about them. But what about you, Ollie? What have you like? Which characters have you got your eye on now that they got changed?
So there's a few characters that I'm really interested in trying that I was kind of hopeful they'd get boosts. So Spider Woman, like you said, she's getting slammed straight back into my
Yeah,
roster. She was in my roster before. I only took her out to try out Ghost Rider on sources before the changes. Um, I think he's got dropped for the moment to put Spider Woman back in to try her out, and then I can kind of move things around and see whether Ghost Rider or Spider Woman stay in. Um, Amazing Spider-Man's another one I'm really happy that's got a boost. He now feels on par with other five threats at being 7/7 and having all the defensive tech, and he has got the ability to power dump really well, especially with Daredevil leadership, where he can web swing in, hit a spender or a builder, and use the rerolls to make sure he's hitting a decent amount of damage and then escape. He can be really kind of useful in that regard. So I'm looking forward to trying him out with more power to spend off him, and knowing that chip damage isn't as scary for him now.
yeah,
And the last one I think is Electra. The hand ninjas getting an update so they can actually interact with sources is really good. And she got 3 health in the update. She got 1 on the health on the front side, and then 2 on her injured side. So she should have more power to play with, especially for a defensive tech. Um, and I really like the idea of trying her on the triangle shaped extract.
oh, it's just shelters,
Whilst
is it?
yeah, because imagine paying for um, martial prowess and then having somebody else boost it, so she's getting 6 defense dice.
Yeah, that's massive.
It's so because then suddenly she can just start stabbing people back for 2 damage randomly. Um, and if you can with sources, obviously she can have the hand ninjas attack somebody, pick something up, hand it off. She goes, attack somebody, hand ninjas come out, she attacks somebody again, and then because the hand ninjas are out, unless they get dazed, they can go and do the same again. So you can just keep using them as a free source picker up.
Yeah,
So there's something I want to try. I don't know how well it'll work, but it's been a while since I've played Electra, and I've forever wanted her to be good and interesting, because obviously she's another street level character I really like.
yeah,
So it will be interesting to see how the health buff benefits her. Um, yeah, there's a few others that I've looked at and gone, I'd like to try them. Elsa Bloodstone looks interesting now, with the fact she can pick energy or physical for a builder, and obviously the triggers being condensed into just a wild means that she can give out incinerate and slow on the same roll. She's not having to look for multiple triggers. She can just kind of ruin a character, and then kind of double tap into them and make them feel super bad.
yeah. They're doing that
Um,
with a lot more now, aren't they? Like, obviously, Amiga Sentinel came out. Like, there's a lot now where they can choose between physical or energy.
yeah, I think it in some scenarios it works, because obviously if you think she's a monster hunter, she's not just going to bring standard bullets and have like a lot of these things deal with it. She's going to have multiple rounds of ammo to deal with different monsters.
Yeah.
So it feels thematic for her. A lot of the characters that have those abilities, it feels natural. Like Shang-Chi having Mystic, the reason he's got the Mystic is because he can beat other martial artists, so that's the way he beats martial artists. Omega Sentinel's got physical energy because she can shoot. That she's adapting her weaponry to attack you. Doctor Strange has different spells, so that's why Supreme Strange has the I can pick any type. So it's nice that she's got something thematic that makes her feel different to Blade.
Yeah.
Because before she did feel like she's got the same defensive tech and stat line as Blade, but she had a 5 strength physical attack that had 2 triggers on it, and you might get them, you might not.
Yeah.
And you were kind of reliant on run and gun. Now she's got the ability to tap all 3 attack types because she's got Mystic Spender, and then the builder can do both types. She can give out slow and incinerate on her builder. She can stop people healing on the spender, and if people give her conditions, she can lash them back for damage. So she's got. I think she'll be interesting, especially at 7/7 health. But I do think she's one of these characters that might see a little bit more play because of the changes.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I mean, going into it really quickly, then we'll go on to hot takes. The fact that we're not seeing really Hulks anymore, like I Hulk hasn't been seen for quite a while. That was one of the main reasons why you ran Blade, because of I Hulk Hammer Bump. So yeah, the fact that we don't really see I Hulk too much anymore, Elsa could definitely see more of a table as the leader, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, right. Some hot takes. Some of them aren't hot takes. Some of them are just biggest winners and losers. But yeah, I will start off with Sean. He was saying the biggest winners is Asgard. Thor 2 is back, and a lot of their models got hit with health, which helps them brawl even better. Biggest losers is anyone using Double Bubble. Shield in particular, as one of the best models. Spectacular Spider-Man didn't get any health. And biggest winner specific model would be Thor 2. And biggest losers specific model is Baron Strucker. So a lot of things that we've said and he's agreed with. But yeah, that's from Sean. Have you got the next one?
Yeah. So Dave says they should have done more with QC.
Quicksilver, I'm guessing.
Quicksilver.
Oh
yeah.
no, QC. That's a QS. QC. They should have done more QC. Quality checks, maybe. Oh, that's a bit of a of a hot take. We won't get into that.
I mean, if we could leave Punisher with free Warzone, that'd be great.
There we go.
But
that's what he's on about, definitely.
Yeah. I will say, I agree with Dave on this one. The Lockjaw's art looks great, but
yeah,
like
100%.
the new art for any of the new boxes coming. So Lockjaw's looks funky, but then so does Crystals, so does Scarlet Witch, so does Quicksilver. I mean, Blob had new art.
And Baku as well. That's really cool art.
Yeah, and Baku's art looks fantastic as well. There was somebody else, and it's going to take me hours to find them, but the new Patrick Brown art is phenomenal. Every time I feel like we've got some kind of we've hit the peak of art, and then Patrick Brown throws out a new bit of art, and you go, okay, no, this is the best one he's done.
Yeah, 100%. And then he had one more, didn't he?
Yes. So Dave is desperate to try out Venom. So I don't know whether that's Venom in Spider-Verse or Venom just in general, but yeah, it's nice to see Venom getting love.
I think from my last event, David had a mirror match against Ian, and I think Ian bought all of the symbiotes, and I think did quite well against David. So I think it's more of a fact he wants to try Venom out because he saw how good he was with Ian. But yeah, Venom getting a little bit of a health buff is pretty big as well. Okay, next we've got Laurie from Element Games in Stockport. So big winner and character I want to try is Mr. Sinister. Yeah, that's definitely one that we've not sort of spoke about. He now doesn't have to choose between tokens and powers, so I get to use more than one of his superpowers in a game, which, yeah, Mr. Sinister is going to be very, very strong. And surprise change is Emma getting 7/7 health. She did not need to be tougher, but I'm not going to refuse a gift like that. So looks definitely like Laurie's on the mutant front. But yeah, it was a surprise Emma getting another health buff because she's very tanky, but she's even more tanky now.
The next one's from Rid.
Yeah.
Biggest winner, New Mutants. Insane Emma buff, Cable and Angel buffs. In faction 2 threat. Surprise change, Echo getting a health buff, which I love.
Yeah.
I'm super happy she got a bump. I didn't expect her to. And then Rid says, looking forward to every mutant faction, which I think is very fair. I think the
I agree,
mutants
yeah.
have come out really well with this. Even though APOC got nerfed, I think every other mutant faction got a benefit in some way.
Yeah, Rid absolutely, like, Rid just plays ever since I've known Rid, he's always played Cyclops leadership. So it's like Rid loves the mutants, so it's nice that they've, as I said, it's nice that they've had so many changes. Echo health buff, I agree. The only thing is, I wish Echo went 6/6, but I know she'd have been too good. Okay. So I'll be happy with 5/6.
We'll take it, won't we, Joe? We'll
100%, yeah, definitely. Next one, Leon. Oh, mate, biggest loser. My Hulkbuster leadership roster. So Leon's been playing Hulkbuster for I don't know how long. He's done really well with the leadership. So yeah, he's a bit. He seems like he's a bit sad that he'll have to run Hulkbuster. Oh, surprise, surprise! He'll have to run Hulkbuster under Sam and have a better leadership. What a shame. Although saying that, I think I played a little bit of Hulkbuster, and he actually felt really good with the new like throw changes. Hulkbuster felt actually the leadership felt really really strong. But I think Hulkbuster would have been a bit too good with all of the good changes plus his leadership still. So yeah, it makes complete sense.
What's the next one? The next one's from Tom. That Red Skull 2 shouldn't have had a big nerf. I know Tom and I have regular discussions about how good Red Skull 2 was. So I do distinctly disagree with him on this, but I think Red Skull 2 is still fine, as we'd said earlier. I think he's one of these characters that is really dependent on positional play. He can sting you if you get him in the wrong position or the wrong mode. But if you can get him in the right position, he can just delete characters. I do think the health buffs for everybody else makes it a little bit harder for him to kill things, and obviously the change of his count blanks to paying for skulls, but it's still a really good benefit for him, I think.
Yeah, I think I agree. And yeah, I mean, Tom added a little bit extra, just being obviously like Red Skull 2 just dies for him. But as you said, like I think it is very. He hasn't got any defensive tech. I mean, obviously rolling 5 dice on certain, on energy or mystics, good. But we've all rolled 5 dice and got 0 on it, so it's not really that good of a defensive tech. So like he can just die. And I've had games against Tom, bless him, sometimes where he'll put Red Skull in front of like 3 or 4 characters, and they obviously beat him. And yeah, sometimes it can just be where you position him, but he's still very very good. But I don't think we're going to see him nowhere near as much as we did, which I think is also healthy for the game. It brings like other 5 threats that they want to try out into the game, which is good. Okay. Second from last is from Ian. Gwenum getting 2+ health is mental, and I love it. she was tanky and healed all the time, and now she does it all for even longer. Yeah, I completely agree. Ian's one of the guys which runs Gwenham quite a lot, even before obviously all this. And yeah, Gwenham getting a health buff is pretty crazy. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about that really. And then we've got one more dude.
So the last one is from Jamal. And said the biggest winner is X-Men. Got a lot of health benefits from the update. Maximus, I mean, Black Bolt getting a nerf and then one more hit point on Inhumans helps. And surprise buff was Emma. I think a lot of people were surprised Emma got more health. Biggest loser, he's got Hulk, APOC. So obviously both the nerfs there. And then affiliation I would want to try out Cabal with Red Skull 3 with Sinister, which does sound pretty nice to be fair. The boost, now that Sinister can generate power from his beam,
he's getting
I think I think he'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then hot take, Winter Guard is kind of good now. I probably agree. I think they're definitely viable now rather than having a lot of bad options and kind of having to splash to make them work.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm playing, obviously, I mentioned Jamal earlier about playing Maximus. So yeah, Maximus is pretty good. Also, I've got Jamal in my next Battle World game, which I'm playing on Sunday. And we've allowed sort of everyone to change their list midway through the event, just because obviously all the changes and all the affiliations, well, all the changes are in now, and he's running Red Skull 3 with Sinister. So I will I will stream either stream or record the game, so you'll definitely see Red Skull action with Sinister at the weekend. I'm kind of scared, but we'll see how it gets on. But yeah, just briefly talking about Battle World, how are you getting on with Battle World, mate?
I'm currently 2-0.
Nice.
I had two difficult games. Trying to remember what they were now. They caught me on the spot. The last game was, I will tell you. Last game was against Vasco, playing Guardians of the Galaxy. So it was Star-Lord and CGR, which was very scary. I forgot how scary CGR actually is. And then the game before that was against Hippis, who was playing Doctor Strange Defenders. Stealth came in handy on that, stopping the Strange turrets shooting at me. So I got a little bit lucky at the end, but it's a dice game at the end of the day, isn't it? So how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Currently 1-0. I've got my game against Jamal at the weekend, but I played Mago, which was on my YouTube channel when he was running Dracula with Lady Mastermind and Pyro, which I thought was really fun. Seeing Pyro give out a load of conditions and Lady Mastermind hitting me, and obviously dealing more than one damage because taking the conditions off me. So it felt good into like Echo and Black Cat, and the characters should only have 5 health because she's going from essentially 1 damage to 3 damage quite comfortably. So yeah, that was really fun to play against. And yeah, as I said, playing Jamal on Sunday against Red Skull 3. I've stayed with Kingpin. I've put, as I said, I put Claw, Spider-Woman, Mysterio and Omega Red in there. So yeah, we'll definitely see if I'll try to play at least 2 of them, if not 3. We'll see what threat comes up and whether it's viable. But yeah, we shall see how it goes. But if you've got any more questions about any of the if you've got any more hot takes, if you've got any more sort of questions on the changes or things you want to sort of tell us about, then definitely join our Discord. And we'd love to hear them. But yeah, have you got anything else before we close off, mate?
No, I think that's everything.
Awesome. Well, thanks guys for listening, and we will definitely catch you in the next one, which will hopefully be next week, and we'll try to do a deep dive into either my list or Ollie's list. But yeah, we shall catch you there, guys. See you later.